Welcome to the Happy Black Woman Podcast, where we're on a mission to empower women to transform their lives through personal development and entrepreneurship. We bring you all the information, inspiration, and motivation you need to create a life of happiness, success, and freedom. Now, please welcome your host, the happy Black woman herself, Rosetta Thurman.
Hello, it's Rosetta Thurman, and welcome to the Happy Black Woman Podcast. Today's episode is about how you can stop saying no to yourself and start saying yes to your desires. Now, before we dive into today's show, I wanted to give you a final reminder about our upcoming Happy Black Woman Summer Camp happening August 3rd through the 6th in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. A lot of people have been asking us about the summer camp, and the clock is ticking for you to take advantage of our early bird pricing. You only have a few days left to register and save $200 off of the registration. Go to happyblackwoman.com/summercamp and get yourself registered if you've been thinking about it and you've been on the fence. Truly, it's going to be a weekend full of self-care, play, creativity, and sisterhood. So if you have been in a time of transition in your life, or you really just need to stop working so hard and take a break away from everything, the summer camp is for you. What you can look forward to at summer camp is some amazing women. Number one, there are going to be some incredible women that you're going to meet, supportive women, positive women, women who are on a path to creating their ideal lives. We're going to have a bonfire, sister circle. We'll have goal setting workshops, journaling workshops, and of course, a pajama jam, karaoke night, and so many activities in between. You can go swimming in the lake. You could take a walk around the labyrinth circle. You can do meditation at our meditation rock. The venue that we have is so quiet and inviting and full of the beauty of nature. So if summer camp is calling you, go to happyblackwoman.com/summercamp and get your early bird registration in today. All right, ladies, diving back into our episode today. Stop saying no to yourself and start saying yes to your desires. I have been coaching and teaching and working with Black women all over the world for the past several years through Happy Black Woman. And what I have noticed is that there is a time in our lives where we have to give ourselves permission to do the things that we want to do. One of the quotes that I love is by Elizabeth Kadetsky. And it says, "You achieve much once you stop telling yourself you can't do things." I'll read it again. You achieve much once you stop telling yourself you can't do things. And so when it comes to women wanting to do certain things in their lives, so much of what holds us back is our own negative self-talk about why we can't do it. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't afford this. It's too late for this. I'm not ready for that. And so a lot of the reasons why we're not living the lives we want is not because of any outside circumstances. It has to do with what we're telling ourselves. And today I wanted to share a little bit about where that comes from, where that mindset comes from, and a little bit about how you can turn it around. So when you find yourself denying yourself happiness, which is essentially what you're doing when you say, I can't do that, or, I could never do that, I'm not ready for that, all those things that you say to yourself to have you not do what you want to do, you want to really catch yourself and think about, where did this idea even come from? Where did these thoughts come from where I got it in my head that I can't do what I want to do? A lot of it comes from our childhood and how we grew up. Depending on how you were raised or how you grew up, you probably heard your parents or your family members or people around you say things like, no, you can't do that, or no, you can't have that because it's too expensive, it's too dangerous, or no, you can't do that because you're too young, or no, you can't do that because you're too old, or you can't wear that because you're too big, or you can't wear that because you're too small. I mean, as women, there are so many messages that have been given to us and passed down to us generation through generation. And depending on what family you grew up in, some of those messages could have been very negative and very toxic looking back. And I'm not to say that your family was bad or your mom, was terrible, but that just may be what was passed down to them and to her. But you need to understand that whatever messages you grew up with are not the ones that you have to carry into adulthood. So even if you were told over and over again as you grew up, no, you can't do that, you can choose to not have those limiting beliefs as an adult. So of course, as kids, you got to do whatever your parents tell you to do or you get in trouble, right? But the problem is when as grown women, we take that same philosophy into our lives where now as an adult, you're not a little girl anymore. You're a grown woman and you're still telling yourself, no, I can't do that. I can't try that. It's too dangerous. No, I can't do that. I'm too old. Oh, I can't do that because I'm too young. I can't afford that. It's too expensive. And by too expensive, it could be, buying something name brand at the store. It could be, treating yourself to a nice pair of shoes, It could be a lot of different things where you look back and you realize that the reason why you won't allow yourself to have nice things is because as a child, you weren't allowed to have nice things. So I'm encouraging you today that if you want to stop telling yourself no for everything, and even stop telling your kids no if you are a parent, because of course that influences your children, you have to learn how to start saying yes to yourself. And one of the things that helped me in my own journey to becoming a happy Black woman is really understanding my place in the world. So your place in the world is very different now than it was when you were a child. As a child, you were a child. You had to adhere to the rules of whatever environment you grew up in. Now, as an adult, you get to choose what rules you follow and what rules you break. As an adult, you have to realize that, my place in the world is now as a woman. I stand on this earth now as a grown woman. All of you over 18 listening to the podcast, you have to understand that the age and stage of life where you are in now, you are in a place of life where you're a grown woman. And you have to get out of that little girl mode, that childlike mode where you're always telling yourself no for everything. And to tell yourself yes has to be justified, right? So as a child, maybe you only got nice things on your birthday, or you only got to wear nice clothes on Sunday for church, or you only were able to do certain things on certain occasions. And so you've carried that into adulthood. And now you get to say, you know what? I can have steak on a Tuesday. I can wear a nice dress on a Wednesday morning. There's no limits to what you can do, but it requires you to step out of that little girl mode and step into your power as a grown Black woman. Okay. So some of you need to actually make that your mantra. I am a grown Black woman and I can do whatever I want to do with my life. Right? So that might be your mantra going forward so that you can get out of that mode of telling yourself, no, I can't. And so there's 3 things that you may want to remember as you are transforming your mindset in this area. So remember that you're now a grown woman. You don't have to be in the house before the street lights come on. It's time to stop treating yourself like a child. And so there's 3 truths that I invite you to remember on this journey. Number 1, I am an adult. Number 2, I am in full control of my life. And number 3, I can do whatever I want. And so what this podcast episode is meant to do is really to inspire those of you who have been, watching my brand, Happy Black Woman, listening to the podcast, maybe listening into some of the webinars or the live streams and really saying like, man, I wish I could do some of those things that she's talking about. I wish I could be a part of this community. I wish I could go to some of these trips and join some of the Happy Black Women at these events. Like, whenever you use language like, I wish I could do that, it is indicating that you are still in that little girl mode because little girls wish, grown women do. Little girls wish, grown women do. And you can see this even in storytelling and fairy tales, right? The princess is the one who's wishing. She's up in a tower and she's wishing she could roam the world and do what she wants to do, but she's stuck in a tower. Right? That's the little princess. But the queen has domain over the entire land, over the entire empire, right? The queen can do whatever she wants and she does, right? So a little girl wishes and a grown woman, she does, right? So I encourage you to really take on that mindset of a queen, take on that mindset of a grown woman and walk through life, begin to walk through life with the power of a woman, the power of someone who knows that you deserve to have what you want. The power of a woman who understands that you're not meant to live life in fear. You're not meant to walk around life just wishing for things. You're meant to have an abundant life. You are meant to live a happy life. You're not meant to suffer through life just wishing and wanting and longing and desiring things that you can't have. So today I would love to hear your comments, your aha moments from what I've shared here today. And I want to know, what is it that you need to do now so that you can stop saying no to yourself and start saying yes to your desires? Whatever it is that you choose to do or take action on or say yes to will be a powerful next step in your journey to personal growth and transformation. So thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Like I said, I look forward to seeing your comments on this topic. And I invite all of you who would like to and desire to join us for the Happy Black Woman Summer Camp to get yourself registered today at happyblackwoman.com/summer camp. Until next time, have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Happy Black Woman podcast. If you want all the show's notes from today's episode, go to happyblackwomanpodcast.com. Plus, we'll send you a copy of Rosetta's free life mapping workbook. We look forward to empowering you next time. And until then, do something this week that makes you happy.